Good day and welcome back to another week of Talking Technical. And I'm going to kick off tonight with a nice and a very interesting story. A friend of mine that lost his job many years ago had to use a lot of his pension just to survive. And he phoned me last week and he said to me, Frans, I've got a plan how I can maybe sort my pension out. And I was immediately all ears because I deal with that a lot. A lot of people sometimes phone me, want to get involved with technical analysis to see if they can maybe make a few bob out of it to understand charts. Now, yes, of course, we know it's a lengthy process to learn and teach yourself, but this story immediately, almost you can say, opened my ears. And he said, well, Frans, I lost almost most of my pension, and I am looking at a share where I can maybe make some of that back. And this is one of the dogs of the market. And I said, yes, tell me. And he said, did you read the tiny little article that some of the big banks wants to get involved and see if they can maybe either rescue the company with the debt problems that they have, or maybe even taking some of this debt over and sort it out for them or help them to sort it out. And that is the dog of the market with the name of transaction capital. Well, immediately I pulled up the share and I said to him, well, let's chat about the share. Now, if you look at this share, I mean, everything that can go wrong did go wrong with the company. In actual fact, we hear about all stories of don't catch a falling piano, don't catch a falling knife, and that's all true. But my friend said to me, Frans, if the banks can come in and they maybe assist this company, and we all know that the taxi industry is massive in South Africa, and they probably cannot see that this industry just collapsed by people not paying their debt or maybe struggling with higher interest rates or whatever the case might be. And he said to me, well, Frans, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at transaction capital and I'm going to nibble a very tiny lot. In actual fact, he said to me, he's going to buy 1,000 shares. Now, that is about, let's call it 5,000 Rand or 5,500 Rands of investment. And then he said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this chart. Of course, he says, well, I can maybe lose all my money because this company can maybe go under. He says, but what I'm going to do is every time that I see a higher low on the chart, I am going to add to my position and hopefully I can afford another 500 or 300 or 1,000 shares, and hopefully he can add quite a few to his portfolio, and let's say hopefully the company turn back into profit and things are looking better for the future, and maybe he can recover some of his pension back. And I said to him, but you know that this company can maybe go under. And he said, yes, I do know that, and I'm well aware of that, and I also want a stop loss from you. Now, he bought the share at 5 Rand 65 last week. Now, look at this chart. Everything is right down rock bottom. There's gaps to the top. Now, he bought it around that level. When I saw that dragonfly, I said to him, listen, I may be seeing this dragonfly candle developing, and a dragonfly is usually telling you, let's just zoom the chart open for you. A dragonfly is usually telling you that there is maybe some buyers around. That was when the candle was still forming. The end of the day, the candle was like we call a spinning bottom. But the next day, we saw the dragonfly. And since then, the chart looks like it wants to recover again. So he bought it at 565. He is in a profit now. And then during this week, we saw this beautiful shaven head candle that tells me that, yes, there is some serious buyers around. And they bought the share right to the top where the share actually closed 6 Rand and 23 cents. Now, what is his plan? His plan is, let's just go through that. He bought here at 565. Let's say the share goes up to, let's say, 6 Rand 50. It pulls back. And the moment he sees a reversal candle here, he's going to add on to the position and he's going to wait for it to go long or higher. So if we look at the chart, where is his stop loss? His stop loss is right at the bottom of this candle, and that sits at 5.45 cents. So he's got an option. He can maybe lose 20, let's call it 25 cents on his position, and then he's out of it, and then at least he didn't lose all his money. But what he will do is, every time that it goes up and it comes back, it gives us a higher low, he will add on. And I then said to him, but please, just following the next rule, just lift your stop loss every time that the share is doing that a little bit higher, so that you cannot lose your money, because I'm sure he doesn't want to lose another lot of his pension money. So the big thing here is transaction capital actually looks quite interesting to me. It had a spinning candle right at the bottom. It had a dragonfly candle that tells you that some buyers are around. It had a shaven top candle that tells me that some buyers bought right till the end of the session. And let's see if we can maybe look at this chart in a few months. And I hope that it works out for my friend. And I really hope that this candle or this chart, can we just go back and just see where was this company before? Now, let's just go back and let's hope that he is right. Let's say the share can go back to 53 rand. And maybe he's got, let's say, 5,000 or 3,000 or 10,000 shares at that point in time, and that the company go there and he decides to lock in some profit. At least he can say to himself, yes, I've got some money. It is okay and it works well for me, and I really hope that it works out for him so that he can actually make some money out of it. So it is a very dangerous trade here. It is not an easy trade, but if I look at this 50-day moving average, that is sitting at exactly 7 rand. I just want to move that away. It's sitting at 7 rand on the dot. Let's see if that 7 rand can maybe turn into a support, because then at least we know that the chart wants to go higher. Well, let's have a look at another one. A friend of mine also dropped me an email and said, Frans, thank you for asking us to send through requests. Can you maybe look at master drilling? Now, the beautiful thing about master drilling, he's holding the share, and he said he waited way lower on the chart to buy some. And what happened? He says, you will not believe it, I got some shares. And this is the candle that he's looking at. Now, tonight there's two lessons. The one is, if you want to follow the system of the other guy to say, yes, I'm going to add up in some higher lows, yes, do that. But this friend of mine, he was got a different strategy. He said, listen, I'm waiting way below where the share is trading, and I'm putting an order there, and hopefully I can get some of it. And what happened? He said he got some at 11 rand 40 cents. And immediately we looked at the chart, and I said to myself, wow, it went down to 11 rand. So what is the beauty about this? This tells you, when you've got a strategy and you want to accumulate some shares, there's nothing wrong to put in what we call a good till cancel order in the market. And that's exactly what he did. He had an order here at 11 rand 40. I don't know how many shares he bought or how many he wanted to buy. But what happened on this specific day of the 27th of January, somebody sold the shares right down to 11 rand. And what happened? He was in the market, and then he was fortunate enough to get some of his shares at 11 rand. So that order got filled. So tonight we looked at two strategies, beautiful strategies to maybe think about. The one is you buy every time that the share is making a lower high and you know that the trend is up. You stick to your stop loss and you up your stop loss as the share goes higher. And the other one, if you like a company, just put in a good till cancel order well below where the share is trading, and maybe you are just lucky to get some of those shares. So what happened? In this case of master drilling, the guy bought at 11 rand 40 and the share is trading now at 12 rand 70. So he is definitely a happy camper. So for tonight, that's all I want to say. There's two wonderful lessons for you guys to actually think about and work on, and let's hope both of these guys are happy. I know definitely my friend of Master Drilling is very, very happy, but I hope that the plan of my friend to maybe get some of his pension money that he had to spend while not having a job coming back, let's hope that is also working out for him. Thank you for watching the show. Visit our website www.fransdeklerk.com for more info, and we will chat again.